Welcome to Athletes Lives Network exclusive interviews. Today our guest, star basketball player, East Chicago Roosevelt, class of 1986, Billy Sims. How you doing, Billy?
I'm great.
Doing good. I want to kind of thank you for being on the website.
My pleasure.
It's a pleasure having you on here. Basically, as you know, I've been covering all athletes. I want the world and also East Chicago athletes to know who you are, your athletic experiences, your college days, and one of the most important topics is what kind of advice can you give to athletes who may one day be in your position.
Well,
First question is just kind of tell us who you are and your experience growing up EC.
well, Billy Sims, first off, everybody knows that. Secondly, I attended school at Danville Community College where I was top 20 small forwards in the country. Left there, got into some trouble, being a knucklehead, not listening, and went on to a Division II school at Eastern New Mexico University. I played 3 years there. After leaving there, I came back home and started working for the steel industry, of course. Then now I'm currently employed at Lear Corporation. Other questions, things I've done is did some coaching as far as helping Gary Roosevelt basketball team as a freshman coach for a couple of years. Had some pretty good athletes there, trying to help shape and mold some of the young black kids and giving them directions, giving them a positive role model to look up to during that time. And that's about it.
Okay. Well, give us your early experience. Influences in sports when you was growing up. Who influenced you?
Well, I grew up in the Harbor first, the other side of East Chicago, from my elementary years to my first year of junior high at Block School. So most of my influence came from Drake Morris. I saw most of growing up as a kid, sneaking into the basketball game, watching him play, who I thought was just a phenomenal basketball player at the time. Then moving to Calumet, attending Westside Junior High, and having the opportunity to see other players that I ended up playing with through my sophomore year, Arthur Pollard, Jerome Battle, those guys who at the time were very good role models, and still is today, rather. And getting to see a lot of guys in the neighborhood in that neighborhood at that time that really had played an integral part in who I am today. But for the most part, it was Drake Morris, Junior Bridgman, those type of guys who lived up and end up being somebody you can respect as a kid because they were not in the streets running around disrespecting people. Those kind of guys I admire more than anything.
Okay. Now you stated that you grew up in the Harbor Side. What elementary school did you attend, and did you play basketball there?
Yeah, I played 1 year at Lincoln Elementary, and I played 1 year at Lincoln, and it was more so like the boys' club because at that time basketball wasn't something I enjoyed doing so much. I was a troubled kid, growing up in the Harbor, growing up on Guthrie Street, but somehow, some way, basketball found its way into my heart, and I really started focusing more on it when I became a sixth grader, and I got more and more involved and started playing and having more fun with friends, and I finally found myself saying, look, I'm going to commit to the summer leagues with Adele and Coach Monroe. Those guys can say, hey man, you're going to be a good ball player, you need to stop fighting and stuff. Hey, listen, you need to focus more on playing and participating and not getting in trouble. And I think that really what made me and pushed me more and to be more involved in the sport. So it took time, but I kind of was a late bloomer, and I got better as I moved to Calumet. Found myself playing and competing more with a lot of the older guys that would push you and drive you to be better. It was always a constant battle on the hardwoods in Chicago and Calumet. Me, Tony Harris, Will Dawson, and a lot of the older guys that were always out there trying to just giving you that push. Hey, you gotta, trying to talk you down, which was a mental part of the game. Back then, you wouldn't understand. You were just a kid, not knowing that guys were pushing you, trying to make you better, and make you understand that it's just not a physical part of the game; it's a mental part of it too. But I think for the most part, growing up in Calumet, I can say that I developed most of my abilities playing there than compared to the Harvard, because it was more of a competitive drive every day. Every single day in Calumet, you were being challenged as a kid. You had to be that kid to not give in, and you had to excel because people were going to challenge you every single day.